Hello! Welcome to English 122. My name is Professor Parish, or you can call me Rachel Parish, you can call me Miss Parish, you can call me Professor P, whatever works. Hi, welcome to this online class this spring 2019. I am so excited for you to be in this class and to be taking this course here at Southeastern Illinois College. So, what is English 122? Chances are you all have taken 121 or its equivalent from a variety of different places. You could have taken English 121 here at SIC, or maybe you took it at another college or university. Maybe you took it 10 years ago, maybe you did it last semester. Whatever the case may be, you are all coming into this class from various different points, right? So 122 is basically, it serves two purposes. One is that it is an extension of English 121. So in English 121 here at SIC, you go over how to do a persuasive essay, how to do a compare and contrast, a cause and effect, an informative paper, and you also learn a little bit about MLA research, or you should, right? However, English 122 not only builds on those skills of MLA and grammar and things like that, but also we get to add in the aspect of literature, which offers a whole new creative way that we look about techniques in terms of writing. So I understand that probably at this point you are thinking to yourself, I am not an English major. How will I use this course? And my answer to that question is that there are things that we will do in this class that you will be able to carry on not only to your other college classes here at SIC and beyond, if you choose to go, to another university after you transfer from here, whatever the case may be, but also I hope that you take the critical thinking skills, the research skills, and basically how to analyze and look at text in different ways. I hope you take those skills from this class and apply it to your writing, whether it's emails, whether it's memos, whatever you do in the workplace, and how you read and encounter texts. Because literature does demand a certain viewpoint. It demands a certain way of reading, of analyzing, of understanding what's being put on the page, and this class is going to help you do that. And I think if you can analyze literature and talk about it and write about it, you'll pretty much be able to take those skills and use them wherever. That's the hope anyway, right? So I realize most of you are not English majors. I've only had a few since I've been teaching, so I do my best to make this class as fun and enjoyable as possible. We look at a lot of examples from our textbook, but I like to bring in and incorporate other examples as well, because I realize that we often need modern, up-to-date, and fresh things to look at rather than just some older texts that are in our textbook. So hopefully that's got you psyched about the class so far. This presentation, this video that you're watching right now, is going to go over not only the basics about the class and how the different aspects of it function, but also is going to kind of talk about our syllabus and introduce the class proper. So sit down, gear up, and let's go over and introduce English 122. So the first thing that we need to look at is our textbooks. There are two. The first textbook is the very large, lovingly clunky Discovering Literature. And this textbook's been used for quite a while, but I really like this textbook and all the examples in it. Obviously, we are not going to read the whole thing. That is over 1,000 pages. There's no way. What I like about this textbook are the examples. There are tons of short stories, of poems, of plays that are within this text that we are going to be looking at. So we look in this textbook through three different genres of literature or types of literature. We look at the short story or prose, which can consist of fiction and nonfiction. We look at poetry, and we look at drama. We probably look at drama the least of the three, but we look at all three of those genres, and then we have a research project at the end. So this textbook is very crucial to the class. You will need it almost instantly. Not the first week of class, but you will need it ASAP. So if you've not ordered this textbook, make sure that you get it very soon. We have it in our bookstore, and I also have a copy on reserve in our library here at SIC, so that if you are on campus, while you're waiting for your textbook to come in, you can go to the library and take notes or do assignments if you have to. All right, this textbook is a must. The other textbook that we have is required as well. We used to have what was called the Wadsworth Handbook, and that handbook was becoming outdated. The MLA didn't match up. So this is the new handbook, the Cengage handbook, that we started using last semester, and I really like it. If you took English 121 when we used the Wadsworth handbook, then you will probably notice that the format here is about the same. It's tabbed off into similar sections that you can see here, and most of the reading up until paper 4 will probably be review for you. So this textbook I do make required for one very specific reason. Actually, two. One is that if you do need help with grammar and things like that, this is a nice resource. With this being the second English class that you take in college, it's understood or assumed that you've probably had experience working with grammar and kind of brushing up on your grammar techniques in English 121. So we don't do a whole lot with grammar in this class. Most of it I will be able to see and critique when I read your papers and your assignments. So if you are struggling with parts of grammar, like if commas frustrate you, or if you're not quite sure where to use apostrophes or something like that, this is a nice resource because it does have sections that have to do with grammar, and especially in the orange section that talk about sentence style, paragraphs, things like that if you need to refresh yourself. But the main reason that I want you to have this textbook is the tiny little card insert that comes within it. I'm kind of geeking out about this because this is awesome. This little brochure fold out has how you cite in MLA all up in it. It not only shows you the examples that you can cite in MLA, it shows you the formulas, it shows you examples of pretty much every type of source that you're probably going to encounter to write in your papers. This is amazing. I did not have this when I was first learning MLA in college, and if I had had this, I would have probably carried it with me everywhere. You know, you're at a party, you know, you want to break out some MLA techniques and tell your friends how to cite, and here it is, and, you know, it's definitely going to be a popularity magnet for sure. But I highly encourage you to take note of this, make copies of it, keep it with you, especially when you're writing your papers, because this will come in handy. I'm obviously going to have presentations that talk about how to cite your sources, but this will be an invaluable tool. So please keep it. And it's definitely worth getting the book over, although we will use this book alongside our other textbook quite a bit in the class. So these two textbooks, they're going to be listed on our website, which you will see shortly. Make sure to get them for class. You will use them, especially this one first, but definitely have this one, you know, in the first couple of weeks of class, because we will be reading out of it and we will be going over various parts of it. So those are our textbooks. Now, as far as our online class goes, what I'm going to do next is navigate the class for you, show you all the different tabs, pages, how to navigate the course, and then finally at the end talk about our syllabus. So I'm going to switch over our screen. Aha! So when you guys log on to the course, if you watch any more lecture videos with me, they will probably be set up like this, where I am in this little box here in the corner, and you guys will be able to see the screen of our computer. So the first thing you need to do is to go on to mysic.edu, which if you're watching this video, that is assuming that you have, and you'll want to log in. All right. And then you can either drop down to my courses here, or you can go to my classes. As I'm making this video, it's still fall semester, so I'm going to go to future courses for me because this is a spring course, and click on this. All right, so here is our class. How our class is set up is when you first log on, this is the course homepage. So if you ever click this button here or click this or here, it will take you back to this page. There's a little introduction about the class. Here are our two textbooks. There is a copy of our syllabus, which I will come back to very soon. And then the video you are watching is right here. As you scroll down, you will see three pretty important tabs here. This first one is the announcement tab. I will be doing, for most of the weeks in our class, a lecture video each week. They will probably be between 20 and 30 minutes long. Just going over terminology, going over our textbook chapters, going over paper guidelines, any kind of housekeeping things like that, and just giving you all updates about the class. So if you're wanting to watch this week's video, which it will show you in our assignments, you will come to this announcements section, and they will be posted here. The nice thing about announcements, the nice thing is that it will let you, once you click the announcements, it will let you actually see every video link. So you can always go back and rewatch videos if you're prepping for exams, or if you need to go back and check something, you can always rewatch those videos. So it's a nice feature to have. The instructor information is right here. This is my information about myself. Here's my email address if you need to email me. My office is E132. It's right by admissions in E-Building. And then these are the office hours that I keep here. Now, I do travel to high schools a lot for my job, so sometimes I'm out of my office. But if you email me or call me ahead of time, I am more than happy to set up a time to meet with you at my office. That doesn't bother me at all. And I've actually done that quite a bit with students, where we'll set up a certain meet time. If you have questions about assignments, about the class in general, I'm always open to that. And my extension for my phone number is right here. All right, so that's how you can get in contact with me. Now, if I scroll down here, there are drop policies, there's disability services, and there is a calendar for the class. So you can go down and check out those features if you need to. The other big thing on our course homepage is this weekly documents and handouts. This shows you every document that you need to read for the class. So for example, with week 1, there is this MLA citation presentation. We won't be using MLA for a couple of weeks in the class, but I would go ahead and download this presentation and save it to your computer, just so you have it for when you need it. For when I go over the video presentation, it will probably be week 5 when we go over this PowerPoint, but just go ahead and have it saved to your desktop. And then the syllabus is right here, which we'll access very shortly. So you can kind of scroll down here and see there's paper guidelines, and I usually have a little note beside each download to show you all what exactly it entails. All right, so that's the course homepage. That's the ground central station for everything. Our weekly assignments and course content. These 2 pages here show the exact same thing. And I just have 2 pages because I know some students like the weekly assignments version better than course content. I personally like course content better, but I'll show you both what they both look like. Weekly assignments goes like this. It will show you the name of the course week, like today. This week is introductions. It will show you what you should do. It gives you a calendar. It shows you the coursework, resources. It kind of puts everything in one big glob right here. And then you can either toggle through all of the weeks, or you can do the arrow over here to go from week to week. All right. Some students like using the weekly assignments. I personally like course content, and I will tell you all why. Course content lists all of our weeks in a row. And if I click on week 1, it shows me what is due each week, and then it actually shows me the drop boxes for the assignment. So the drop boxes are right here, so I can go into this drop box and submit my assignment. Whereas with weekly assignments, I've got to click on an extra link to get to that point. So it's like one extra step. So I would recommend going to course content. The same thing that's listed in weekly assignments will be listed here, but the actual drop boxes will be here as well. So for example, this is week 1. So under our course content, you have to read the syllabus and watch the intro video, which you are doing right now. Reading in our textbook, in chapter 1, I've put down the pages that you need to look at, and the video that I'm going to be doing for week 1, which will be in our announcements section, will go over this as well. And then you have the discussion form to do and the grammar sampler. The grammar sampler is just for me to kind of see where everybody is in terms of grammar in the class. Some semesters I noticed that the class, maybe everyone in the class has trouble with commas. So we may spend an extra credit assignment working on commas. It just lets me know if there's any issues grammatically that the class kind of has total, and that way I can add on assignments if I need to. But they'll all be extra credit if I add them on. And then the discussion forum we'll talk about very shortly, but you can click through the course content and see assignments that are listed each week. You'll notice that usually each week there's 2 to 3 assignments a week to work on. And that's pretty much it. We'll talk about discussion forums, but you'll most likely every week have a discussion forum with the exception of a few. And then you'll notice spring break this year, there are no assignments. You guys will get a week off, so yay. All right, so that is the course content page. Now the discussion forum, as you'll notice, they are all listed here. And how the discussion forum works is it is worth 20 points every week that we have one. You will have your own discussion post and you will respond to 2 peers. Your discussion post is worth 10 points, while as each of your responses are worth 5 points each. So the total discussion forum is worth 20 points. And as long as you submit your initial post by Friday every week, you will get at least the 10 points if you answer all the questions in the post and turn it in on time. And then your 2 responses are due Sunday of each week. So the reason why I do that is just to give everyone time to post by Friday, and then usually if a student wants to before the weekend, you could actually get the discussion forum posts finished before the weekend starts. So that is a nice thing that you can do. If I click on week 1 here for discussion, I've got 5 questions that I'd like you to answer in your post. They're mainly about you. Why are you at SIC? Who are you? What do you like? What's your favorite color? And then you respond to your peers. Now, some instructors have a word limit on responses, like they want their each response to be 500 words or whatever. I'm not like that, but what I would like is that these discussion forums are in lieu of our conversation in class. Since we don't meet face-to-face, this forum is your way to communicate your ideas about what we're reading, about what we're writing. It's your forum, your voice, your space for that. So I want us to create a dialogue. I don't want every response to be like, I agree with you, and that's it, right? Because that's not really creating a dialogue. I would like you, if you agree with somebody, say what you agree with. And you may reveal something about, what you like that that person can connect with and respond to. So, for example, in one of the forums, you have like, which story did you like best in this unit? Well, somebody may have chose the same story you did. So you could say in the post, hey, I chose that same story and I also like this, this, and this. And that creates a dialogue. It creates communication between you and your classmates that we need in this class since we don't meet face-to-face. And it gives me an idea of what you like and don't like, so that it helps me in my lectures kind of channel that as well. So there's not a word limit, but I do expect you to create a dialogue through your replies. Don't just be like, me too, I agree. I won't give you full credit for that if they're not, creating a discussion. All right, so that's the discussion forum. Our resources tab just lists the same documents that are on our course homepage. So you can either go to the handout section on our very first page of the class, or you can come here. It's sort of your option. I try to give you all multiple ways to access content, and this would be the other way to get a hold of our syllabus, things like that. The grade book, when you log on, you will just see your grade. You will not see everybody else's, but this is, you can view the full grade book to show you each assignment in the class. And I try very hard to keep grades updated because I know that as students, you all want to know what your grade is constantly. So I try to keep it updated in real time. It may take me a week to get through grading assignments, but I do try my very best to keep your grade updated at all times so you can know what you're making in the class. and that you can check this anytime and know where you are. The email and roster, this has all of our students in the class. My box is always a darker gray right here, but this is that you can email anybody in our class or myself if you have any questions. You don't have to go through Falcon Mail. You can email through this. Now, if you want to see if anybody's emailed you, then yeah, you need to go through Falcon Mail and check that. But if you have to send a quick email about an assignment, you can do it right here, and it's not a big deal. The attendance, don't worry about that. I don't have an attendance record here. I can go online at any time and see how many times you've logged on, how long you've spent in the class, and where you've actually traveled on the site. So, you know, if a student says, oh, well, I went to there, I can actually check and see if you did. So that is a helpful tool for me, especially if a student is struggling in this class. I can say, hey, you've only spent 5 minutes once a week on this site. You need to spend a little bit more time. So it is a nice tool for me as the instructor, but you all won't necessarily use it. Course information just tells you about the class. I don't have a photo here because you get to see my face right here. But it does give you an idea about what the class is about. And then if you need any help, there is some information right here. I would recommend writing down, because if we have internet issues or if my SIC is under maintenance and is down and you need anything like this, you might want to, take a picture of it, write it down, and just save that information for later. And then, of course, if you need any tutoring for English, there's an extension and help right there, and those services are available to you. All right? Easy enough to navigate, right? So we're going to go to our resources, and I'm going to actually click on the syllabus here and download it. Okay. Skip, open all those fonts. Thank you. All right. Oh my goodness, why is it? Okay. Got multiples pulled up, so I am going to pull this one right here. Okay. So this is our class syllabi. As you can see, it's an online course. There's a description, which I've told you all about. This class is required to fulfill an associate's degree, or for transfer, you will need this course. And then the objectives in the class are listed here. And I've pretty much talked about what we're going to do in the class. It's mainly just an extension of 121 with more of a critical thinking, analytical writing standpoint in terms of looking at literature. That's pretty much, and we focus more on MLA. That's a big thing too. So as far as topics in the class, these are the order that they go in. We always start out with short story, which is prose or fiction or nonfiction. Then we move on to poetry. Then we move on to drama. And finally, we do our research project at the very end of class. And so those are all in order. As far as writing goes, ideally we have about a month per paper. And your first 3 essays are fairly short. They're 3 to 5 pages. You can go beyond that if you'd like. Usually the first paper, especially if people do like a creative writing option, we have students that go beyond the 3 pages, 3 to 5. But ideally 3 to 5 pages for papers 1, 2, and 3. And then paper 4 is our 8 to 10 page paper. And it seems very daunting, but I will tell you right now, as I'm grading papers from this last semester, you are able to write a paper of that length. That is my goal, is to get you there. And by the end of the semester, you'll probably end up really enjoying that last paper. I know it seems like you won't now, but just wait. But ideally, we do about a month per paper. I like to shorten the 3rd paper, which is on drama. That paper we have a little less time because I want to give you a little more time for the final paper. And as the class goes on, we will talk more about those assignments and just kind of how they break down, how you construct them, all of that fun detail. All right, this right here is very important for you to look at in the syllabus, and this is our class schedule. This shows you all the main assignments that are due and the week that they are due. So you'll notice March 17th, March 11th to March 17th is our spring break. We will not have any assignments. It's right at the midway point. So right as we get done with paper 2, that's when you get a week off. And then we come back hitting the ground running with paper 3 in our research paper. So you'll notice we actually only have about 2.5 to 3 weeks on paper 3 because I want to give you more than a month to work on the last paper. All right, so it's very doable, very doable. If I can do my master's thesis in 3 months and it be 107 pages, which it was, I have faith that you all can do these assignments. As you will notice here, there are 3 weeks where we will not have a discussion forum. Finals week and spring break, we don't have a discussion forum. And then week 8, we won't as well. So that week you'll get to take a break from talking to everybody. If we scroll down, our textbooks are on here. Plagiarism policy. As you all know, you've probably been drilled about plagiarism since you were in high school. Just write your own stuff. That's what it comes down to. I've only had 1 or 2 instances where things have been plagiarized in my class, and it's very easy to tell. I know that these papers are not handwritten, but I will actually become quite accustomed to how you write as a student. So it will become easy for me to tell if your style drastically changes one week, and I'll be like, that seems odd. And there's a lot of technology out there now that I can turn papers in, it can detect plagiarism. It's just not worth it. It's better if you just write your own work. Please don't recycle papers from other classes because a lot of times I'll find out about it. So just, if you write your own work, you'll be fine. Okay. Our bookstore information and textbook information is there as well. The breakdown for grades in this class. Our first 3 papers are worth 100 points each. The research paper, since it's twice the length, it's worth twice the points at 200. We do have 4, I say exams, they're pretty short tests, but there are 4 of them. We do one over prose, one over poetry, one over drama, and one over MLA. And those are worth 25 points each, and then our final exam is worth 100 points. And then the online assignments and discussion forums comprise a large part of this class. So as you can see here, the points are fairly spread out. So this is not one of those classes where sometimes you get a class and students think, oh, well, the tests are the majority of the class, so I can just skip the homework and worry about the tests. That is not how this class functions. It is very important that you do all of the assignments every week. They all add up. And not doing those assignments, if you're like, oh, I just won't do the discussion forums. Well, if you got a perfect score on everything else but didn't do the discussion forum, you're automatically at a B. And that's if you did everything else perfect. So you can see that these points, they do matter. So it is important that you're only having 2 or 3 assignments a week. Just make sure you do the whole assignment. That's my big takeaway here. As an instructor, I do have 2 pet peeves. The first pet peeve is making sure all of your assignments are on time. This class, even though it's 16 to 18, well, with spring break and finals week, it's technically 18 weeks. Even though it's spread out, you do have stuff that kind of is due every week, and it sort of leads from one thing to the next. And sometimes students will get into a rut where things will snowball, and they'll say, oh, well, can I have an extension on this? And then that extension becomes you're late with your other work, and that late work, it just keeps snowballing, and it hurts your grade. So my rule of thumb is there is no late assignment. You will notice on our page that you have an entire week to work on assignments. As it shows here, you have a week and up to a month for your paper. And I like to open assignments up early, so I do open some weeks up ahead of time, so you can even work ahead if you want. Because of that, I don't accept late work. If you don't get something turned in on time, my recommendation is, okay, that happened. You got a 0 on that. Now move forward and do the next assignment on time and work harder to make sure that you make up for that 0 that you made. So just to give you forewarning, I don't accept late work. So you just make sure you get everything turned in on time. The only exception that I will possibly make is in the discussion forum, if you don't get your initial post turned in by Friday, you can still turn it in Saturday or Sunday that week. I do take points off, but I still let you turn it in. Every other assignment, no. They're all due at the due date. If you have to miss class for an important event, like if you're an athlete and you're on at a game, or if you're on the speech team and you're at a tournament, I do expect you to work ahead and turn those assignments in early, or when you get back, you are responsible for those. So I just want to make you aware of that. That's kind of one of my pet peeves, is making sure that assignments are in on time and completed. The other thing that you will notice here is that you are responsible for having what I call a plan B in terms of technology. Now this class is online, so I'm assuming if you are watching this video that you have internet access at your home or at the school. You will need that for this class. I personally am not, I was never a phone schoolwork person. When I was in college, you couldn't do work on your phone. You could just call people. So it's a very new concept for me, people doing their classes entirely from their phones. It weirds me out, to be frank. I'm like, you need to have a computer. You need to have the monitor and screen and the keyboard and all that good stuff. So you are very welcome to use your phone for this class if it works. But you are responsible for having a backup plan for when technology fails. So as a student, when I went on vacation, I've had to go to gas stations before. I've had to go to libraries in town to complete assignments. I've had to find Wi-Fi hotspots. I've had to borrow friends' computers. I've had to use a family member's computer. You have to just plan ahead and be ready and anticipate when things can go wrong. Procrastination is not your friend in this class. So if you're somebody that waits until the last minute to do assignments, just know that I won't accept things late, and that technological issues are not an excuse to me. So, you have the main campus, you have libraries in towns, you have friends and family with computers, you have your phone, you have ways to do these assignments. And so if your computer crashes, 5 minutes before the assignment is due, there's not much I can do to help you. You might have to do it on your phone, you might have to get a friend's computer. My point is, don't procrastinate. Don't wait until the last minute. Those deadlines are there just to keep us on track and to give myself a window for grading, but don't rely on them to wait till the last minute. Make sure that you are submitting things early, and that if you do have any technology issues, let me know. Let me know ahead of time. I've put on here, try to let me know at least 24 hours in advance if you've got a tech issue. I know that's not always feasible, but just aim for that. And I do understand that life goes beyond this class. So if you have a medical emergency, if you're a family member or have an issue with your family, I understand that. So my suggestion is, please communicate with me one-on-one, and we'll work something out if that's the case, because obviously that takes precedence over this class. But if you've just been playing video games, if you've been on Fortnite for 24 hours and you're like, oh yeah, I've got that paper due in 5 minutes, that's not an excuse. But if it's something serious, then just communicate with me. I know a lot of students are scared to talk to their instructors. I don't know why. I bugged my instructors a lot. So I would encourage you to do the same. Just communicate with me, because otherwise I don't know your situation or your circumstance. And then I can't assist you or help you if I don't know what's going on. So just keep that in mind. And then obviously the attendance policy, the ADA accommodations, retention, completion, all that's on here. Don't worry about this other stuff. This stuff down here is for me. And then we have like how to access your Falcon Mail, code of conduct, things like that. Mainly treat each other with respect on here since it's an online class, and I've never had trouble with students doing that, but I just have to say it because I'm an instructor. So that is our class in a nutshell. You can kind of see, I'll go back to our home page here. All right. So that's our class. As I will always tell you, you are more than welcome to email me, call me with questions. I get really excited about this class. I'm excited about our first lecture video, which I will be posting in the announcements section for week 1. And then as you explore the class, if any questions come up, just let me know. All right, welcome to English 122. I'm excited for you to be here, and I can't wait to see you at my next lecture.